I can hear you. Where? Oh, no, it's, yeah, URA. I was gonna say, let me see. I probably shouldn't be in my account while I'm live streaming this. Do that. People should hear you, at least because I have party audio turned on for this stream. You should. Then you may want to go to our party individually and see if it says like include audio or something. Alrighty, Twitch people. Nobody's watching this, but hey. We are here at Imola. We got a short qualifying, then we got our sprint race and a full race. Today, joining me in the commentator booth, and he will go down to the track for some hard-hitting interviews, we have Bobby from Miami. Bobby, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks? Bobby's a little shy, people. If you don't know much about Bobby, you'll know that he used to race. He was league champ. He's one of the legends in URA. And, yeah, all these people that are racing here today have at one point in time been overtaken by Bobro on track. Clean racer, hard racer. Always the top of the grid. Everybody out here today would be just jealous if they had his kind of talent. And now we have his talent in the booth. So we're all pretty psyched about that. Right, let me get the full track.
Hola.
Hola. Looks like we got a McLaren going out to track.
I have made it to the booth. It is Bobby from Miami.
Drag King coming out. He's going to be the first one to set a lap.
Better drag king than drag queen, am I right?
I don't know. Have you ever seen those drag queens? They can be kind of convincing.
Key West.
I've been fooled by one. I've been fooled by one down in Miami. What about you?
I live on an island full of them.
Oh man, what we do in our free time. But drag queen, or sorry, you already got me confused. Drag king did finish third last race. Unfortunately, he got a 5-second penalty. He would have finished second, but apparently he doesn't know to keep the car on track in between the white lines. Kind of a special guy, kind of like that. But let's see if he can do better, kind of improve. I mean, even third place was a bit of a surprise for somebody like him, but we'll see.
A podium is a podium.
A podium
it
is a podium.
Good to get on the rostrum.
All right, so here he comes up to the penultimate corner.
Ravazza.
Going around final corner, and let's see here. Starts a lap. Right? Meow.
Meow.
Pulling over. Let's see. Turn one.
Ooh,
looks good.
watching out for the Ferrari behind. Maybe an Alfa Romeo. A little bit of traffic out there.
A little bit of traffic. He seems to be doing just fine. Looks like we have a yellow sector 1. Somebody might be pulled over. Going slow. Alright, let's see if this Aston can stay out of his way. Yep, he's doing alright. Coming up to the fast left. 2 little lefts right here, pretty quick. Downhill into a fast right. Get through the gears, rotate the tires, get the car in line, and then hit the power up the hill. And then you got a hard braking. Solid job. Looks like he's purple sector 3. Makes sense. He is the first one out there.
The Papaya's
He's
gonna
coming
go
down
to the top of the boards, I think.
Yep. There he goes. I think he will too. This seems like a very clean, solid lap. As he puts in a 1:16.1. Let's see how that holds up to the rest of them here. So we got a few now going to start coming through.
Setting the bar high. Let's see what the other guys can do.
Yep. Looks like we got some more people starting a fast lap. Tit in an Alpine sits a 1:16.4. El Chris in the Red Bull 1:17.0. Not good for the Red Bull. Ooh. Young King, a 1:32.6. What do you make of that, Bob? A 1:32 when others are setting 1:16. You think he had some trouble out there?
I think he might be driving a 4-speed. Someone needs to tell him he's got a few more gears after that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Got to make it a little quicker than that, bud. But El Chris in the Red Bull. Fastest car out there, and he's not doing much. And there's Dorsey. Dorsey, as you know, our winner last week. Puts in a 1:16.2. Pops it into second. Solid first lap for him. Let's see how the other Red Bull's doing. Henny. Starting his lap.
Sector 2 caution. That's cleared.
Captain coming down here.
I don't know about you, but I like seeing the McLaren at the top of the boards.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't Drag King, though. It's kind of a douche.
Well, it's better than Squishticles. Our semi-retired. Brought him out of retirement.
Well, if we know anything about Squish, we know when it comes to qualifying, he'll either put it right in 5th, he'll give you that, he'll place it in 5th, or he'll just smoke too much weed and forget to set a lap.
You know, that wall is not going to crash into itself, buddy.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. But we got the other Red Bull coming around, setting a time here. Doesn't seem to be all that quick. Looks like he's kind of holed up.
That must be Checo's car.
Yeah, I think he got Checo's car. Let's see if he comes into the pits. Nope, looks like he's starting a lap now. 1:20.9. Might have been...
Christian needs to give that man wings.
So, Bob, what can you tell us about Imola? Was this one of your favorite tracks back when you were racing?
I always enjoy racing at Imola. It's one of the old school tracks, very fast and flowing with nice gravel runoffs. Great race down to what's technically corner 2, but the first major braking zone and corner. There's a little chicane there at the Tamburello, and always fun to go in there too wide. It's a game of chicken down there right off the start every race. So, yes, very much enjoy this track.
And as you say that, we do get Dorsey, who posts a 1:15.9, goes up to pole. About 2/10 quicker than our McLaren and the Drag King.
He must have taken the sandbags out of that Mercedes.
I was going to say, Mercedes is known for sandbagging a little bit. Looks like they took him out. Looks like Drag King is out on his outlap. Captain is running right now. Looks like he might be up. Let's see what he does. Throws in a purple sector 2. So we do get... that's Dorsey going slow. Let's see what the Alfa Romeo of Captain can do. First lap was a 16.3. Ooh, got a little squirrely there on that last corner. He does bump it up, though, to a 116 flat. Puts him in second. Seems like the track is improving.
It's a close grouping there at the top. I like to see that. Should be a competitive race.
Oh, yeah. And it's always good to see when the cars are close together. Makes for some really good battles out there.
I'm hoping the other 10 drivers can get a lap in. It's been, what, 5-6 minutes in qualifying so far? These guys need to get the move on.
Yeah, it looks like we have the 2 Ferraris. Or, well, one of them slowed down. He may have been slowing down for his teammate. But we got Lingy going through. Let's see what he can post. Lingy dropping a 115.8 puts him up at the top. Not unusual to see a Ferrari up at the top, although you know their strategy is going to screw them in the race.
Well, that driving might screw them if it's anything like what we're seeing right now. This is more of a Ferrari rally car than a Formula One car.
It was making some interesting cuts trying to get back to the pit.
The mechanic is going to be pissed cleaning that thing off.
All right.
I have to imagine there's plenty of Tifosi out in the stands here.
It is a home race for them.
Yes, the second home race. They've been lucky to start getting here on the calendar lately. My God.
It's kind of interesting. Now we have 3 races out in the U.S. and only, 2 in Italy? And Italy is the place of speed. It's where speed was born. I feel like we should be in Italy a little bit more often. We got Little Mo in the Haas. Unfortunately, being a Haas driver isn't too great these days, but let's see what he can do.
It would be good to see Mugello added to the calendar permanently. I know during COVID we got to visit Italy a little more often, see that track, which typically is a motorcycle track these days, but that's where we had the big pile up, I think at the beginning of the race after the red flag, and nearly lost Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, it's never good when you lose Carlos.
No.
But Little Mo in the Haas puts it in 5th at a 116.1. So we got 1st through 5th all within about 2.5 tenths of each other. So nice grouping there.
Love to
It's
see
like
it.
a lot of people putting in the 116s. We're going to watch Sublime here. He said a 132.5. We think he messed up on his first lap. Going around again.
Let's see what you got, sub for Lime 2. His father, sub for Lime 1, was quite the racer. He would not have blown that corner, I think.
Yep. Big air into that turn.
The Aqua Minerale section. It's tough to get the car slowed down there.
Yeah, those downhill fast right-handers, and then you got to slow down and rotate the car enough can be tough, and it can catch you out.
Yeah. You know, that corner named after mineral water. That's where Jesus himself actually used to sell mineral water to the Palestinians and the Philistines.
I did not know that. Thanks for the history lesson. Yeah. You always learn something new when you got Bob Bro on the commentators. Ooh, Rocket Man. Looks like he may have had some track limits on that fast left-hander up the hill.
I'm expecting to see Little Milk make his way up the scoreboard. Can we get him out on camera? Is he on track?
Oh, Milk. Let's see. In the Williams, he's in the pit currently.
Must
We
be.
do have Spaz Squash, Brownito Supreme, and then Henny, and then Rocket Man. Again, Rocket Man might be going around again, but
Milk probably
Spaz
filling that car
Squash.
up with some 2%, ready to head back out there.
You know, last week he tried hole, and I mean, you know what the Williams are like in a hole. They need that 2%.
At the Indy 500, I know they drink milk, and every driver gets the opportunity to share what kind of milk he would like to drink on the podium. What would you drink on the podium, Everett? What kind of milk?
Oof. If I was going to go milk, it would be chocolate milk.
There we go.
Or strawberry. Strawberry's very, very underrated.
That's the wild card. I did not think about the strawberry. The chocolate came right to mind for me.
Everyone thinks chocolate. When you think, if you give them something other than milk, everybody goes to chocolate. But sometimes that strawberry milk just hits the spot.
Who in the paddock do you think would drink goat milk on the podium?
Goat milk? Probably be. I think Rocket Man would be a goat milk fan.
Okay.
He's a little weird.
Yeah.
So goat milk would be his go-to. We're gonna watch Drag King set a time here. He was on pole. He's currently in 4th as Lingy drops a 1:15.1, dropping 8/10 on the closest competitor, Dave Dorsey. 8/10.
We better get
1:15.1.
Better get the P cup ready for that guy as soon as he pulls in. We need to check him for some performance-enhancing substances.
Well, I mean, we know what the Ferrari is like over a one-lap stretch. It's, the race strategies and their tire wear just messes them up.
With laps like that, he might be able to get out ahead far enough to make that work. We'll see in the race.
Let's hope so. Drag King, what are you doing here? Not seeing any purple sectors out of him. Doesn't mean he still can't be improving.
Starting to run the clock down. Some of these guys are going to only have one more attempt left, it looks like.
Yeah. Drag King does improve to a 1:15.9, bumps him up one spot. Captain's out on a outlap right now. And a 1:16.0.
We have someone parked up in Sector 2. Looks to be a Williams. Back moving again.
Yep. Looks like he's just staying out of the way. He's on an outlap. Dorsey Dave back out for an outlap. But we're going to follow with Captain here as he comes around. See if he can improve.
Everybody getting a time on the board now.
Yep, Sub-for-Lime needs to really improve if he wants to get up there. That 1:32.5 is not looking good.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Especially when you got your teammate bumping a 1:15.1.
Right, I'm sure that the pit boss sat down with him and showed him the track map, made sure he knew which way to turn each corner.
Alright, Captain's coming up the hill for the fast left. Keeps it within track limits, coming back down. Let's see if he can get this car going. Rotate it, slow down. Good job. Rocket Man has retired from the session. I guess 1:19.1 is the best he can do. It's tough when you're in a Haas. Here comes Captain. Let's see what time he can set. He does improve to a 1:15.8. Goes up to second.
Okay. That pep talk from Gunter or whoever is over there at Alpha now actually worked out.
All right, we got Henny. 116.7 seems to be the best he's going to do. We got Dorsey on a hot lap. He is currently in fourth with the Haas and Alpha and Ferrari. All Ferrari Ferrari powered cars ahead of him. Let's see what he can do. He's got to find just about 8/10 to get that pole position for the sprint. Ooh, a 115.6. Puts him in second.
So after
Sublime does drop a 116.4. So he got out.
A little bit of fun facting on the Googleizer. After Frederick Vasseur was pulled from Alfa Romeo over to Ferrari, the new Alfa Romeo boss is Aluni Bravi.
Yeah, I'm just going to call him Tom.
You know, that is what they called him in high school.
So congratulations to our pole sitter, Lingley 12, with a 115.1, 5/10 faster than Dorsey. So he was well ahead of the competition today. Pretty impressive time.
The Tifosi are going wild. They'd love to see that scarlet
Look
car
at him
at
in the
top.
stands. Look at him in the stands.
You know, I hear the pasta makes you go faster here in Italy.
The 83 attempts. That doesn't mean they never came close though. Out of the odd podium finishes, 2 of them happened here at Imola. The last time
It sounds like a Babel tape.
They were lucky enough to just supply us with some beers up here. You know how the Italians are. I was expecting wine, but we got some nice beers, some Italian beers up here for the
What
sprint.
are we sipping on tonight?
Oh, man. We are sipping on... Let me try and pronounce this correctly.
Budweiser?
Well, it's the Italian beer Peroni.
Ah. I'm more of a Duff man myself, but I understand when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
So we got Langley at the top, like I said. Dorsey in second. Captain third. That is your starting 3 for the sprints. I mean, with a time like that from Langley, you would expect him to pull away, but we'll see how that Ferrari does over his race pace. Anybody else you're surprised about?
You know, I like seeing Little Mo putting the Haas up there on the second row. I think that's impressive. That car's a dumpster fire, so good on him for finding some speed in it.
Yeah, found that speed. Hopefully he can keep the tire wear down. I know that's an issue for the Haas, is their tire wear, so hopefully they can keep that down and they can he can make some moves, keep it on the podium, or maybe even go for the race win. It would be a hell of a thing to see the Haas win a race, even if it is a sprint race.
Yes, for sure. I know they brought some upgrades this weekend. A new left rear suspension assembly after they attempted to kill Kevin Magnussen last week. Helps them bring out any additional speed.
Yeah, it seemed like his rear suspension just... We went to turn right, and it took him left.
Yep. And this is not Tokyo Drift.
We're just waiting for the players here. We do have a little bit of break in between now and the sprint race.
Duff.
We do have some celebrities out here tonight, today for the sprint race, and tomorrow. Looks like Miss Jennifer Lopez will be in attendance.
Yeah, I heard she's giving out taco flavored kisses to everybody
Mm-hmm.
after the race.
Yep, taco flavored kisses.
Yep.
That's what she's famous
Make
for.
sure to be there. Make sure to be there on the podium.
Trying to find some other famous people from Italy. Not going to find them. The only famous people are in the mob. And
I hear Mussolini is in the crowd today.
Mussolini, huh?
Yeah.
It's interesting having him out here.
It's good for the Communist Party. They're really trying to make a resurgence.
Alrighty. Uh-oh.
I know the Haas has plenty of problems, but this connectivity issue is a new one. I've wondering how they're going to overcome this.
It looks like we might have to get out of it and rejoin. Some connection issues here.
Well,
Italy not known for their internet.
You know what they say. If you've got connection issues, you need some connection tissues. Check out this gangster house you have.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to F1 Association was able to give it to us for the duration of this year since we are commentating.
It's like the real world. F1. I like it. Can't wait to do my talking head. Man, this guy above the DHL sign is thrilled to be there today. Freeman, just chanting, pumping that fist.
I can't tell you the last time I saw a DHL truck here in the States. It's been a minute.
Busy over here moving F1 stuff.
Yeah.
God, that fan must be heavily intoxicated. There are no cars on track, and they're just going bananas.
No cars on track. Looks like, we're getting some people that are saying that they're joining. Looks like we're having some connection issues. All right.
While we wait, I'll look for some Imola track trivia. Hit you with some questions and see if you know the answers, Everett.
I can promise you I don't.
I'll make sure to lob you some softballs. These facts are a lot less fun than I'd hoped they'd be.
Yeah, I can't imagine Imola has some fun facts. I mean, other than the racetrack, what does Imola got going for it?
It's an administrative region of northern Italy comprising the historical regions of Emilia and Romagna.
Oh, here we go. As we set up for
Its
the formation lap.
capital is Bologna, and it has an area of over 22,000 square kilometers.
You ever had fried bologna? Ooh, fried bologna.
I believe that is the food that region was named after.
I was curious. Nobody just thinks bologna. I would like to meet the man that made up the word bologna.
But yeah, William Bologna, first of his name, meat
Like,
connoisseur. He died of meat sweats.
alrighty, so we're just going around the formation lap here.
Apparently those tires are plenty warm on that Ferrari. No swerving to be found here.
Well, interesting he went with the softs. Dorsey behind him on the mediums. I have a feeling most of them went for mediums. It is only an 11-lap race, though, but so far I'm seeing just about everybody on mediums except for the gentleman on pole.
What tires would you have started the race on?
I mean, 11 laps. If I'm the pole sitter, I'd probably play it safe and go mediums. I want my tires to last. If I'm down at the bottom, I might try something for softs just because our sprint setup is set up how it was in 2022. So however the top 10 are, that's how they will start the next race. So I would have tried to move a few spots upwards if I could.
Makes sense to me. I think I'd do the same. You know, I'd seen one idiot start a race on intermediates once when it was dry with no rain to be seen. You ever seen anything as crazy as that?
I have not, but I can tell you one thing. I would not blame the driver. As we already have our first disqualification, Captain, and Titanium. Looks like they do not know how to set up. Looks like they don't know how to set up in their pit box. Or sorry, the box on the track. Interviews.
And Sub Forlime disqualified. Captain disqualified from P3.
That's interesting. See how this gets going.
All right, let's see the lights.
3, 4, 5. And off we go.
Lights out
and away
we go.
And here we are. Dorsey already passed by Captain.
Here's the section
into turn
I was
1.
talking about earlier. Too wide is very brave here. And some contact.
Looks like Titanium has gone down a little bit. 2 Red Bulls have gone down.
Dorsey holding on to that last podium spot right now.
Yep. Bit of a gap between him and Force, so not too much to worry about behind him.
Hope to have that pressure off. He can focus ahead.
Yep. Langley has already pulled out a second on Captain, so it looks like those soft tires are working well for him in the beginning here.
They are lighting up. Let's see how they last.
Obviously no DRS within the first couple laps here.
There's a good toe down that first straightaway. You can get a great run into that second corner. But we saw George Russell nearly.
And we got an incident.
double DNF.
Yep, Drag King and El Chris, the Red Bull and McLaren. Come to a head. Looks like it was at turn 1. We do have a virtual safety car.
That AlphaTauri is missing a wing.
Yes, he is. Wonder what he did wrong. He may have been a part of this. I know he was off.
That is Branito Supreme. Trundling along in 14th place, the last running car now.
Yep. Well, this VSC, it is over now.
Back to racing. You know, the Ferrari loves to see incidents like that, hoping to help him milk those tires a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have liked the VSC just a little bit longer. We do have Dorsey with a good toe down the front straight. Just keeps it behind Captain for now. I think he's going to wait for that DRS next go around.
Yep, Mercedes looks trimmed out. I think with DRS, he's going to make that an easy pass. Let's take a run down the whole grid. Where's everyone running?
We do got Squish making a move on Henny.
Oh!
Down the inside. That was a good move from the McLaren. With the McLaren and Red Bull of Drag King and El Chris getting themselves out, we got the Red Bull and McLaren of Squish and Henny battling it for the 10th and 9th positions here. Squish getting the better of them there. We'll go down to Dorsey here as they're going to have DRS coming up. See if he can make that pass on Captain. Yep, he's going to plow open.
Slingshot engaged.
Oh yeah, he's already ahead of him as we come down. Easy enough move.
Let's see how he can defend from the DRS the next time around.
Spasquash making a move on Little Mo down that same straight with DRS. Squish also getting ahead of the Alfa Romeo of Supreme. That DRS can be very powerful down there, but Supreme holding on to the back of him.
You know, I'm surprised to see the two Supremes not driving for the same team. Think there's an inter-family struggle there? Can't get along?
You know, you would think so, but last week I talked to him, as we have Henny retiring from the race, full-on safety car.
Ooh.
Get down to Brownito, see if we can catch up, see what we find. It looks like everybody's moving still.
Henny parked up. What happened to the other Red Bull?
I don't see, unless they got it off the track pretty quickly.
Car must be in the stands. I hope the spectators are okay.
It's one of the things about these older tracks is they've had to build up the safety around them. Car going as fast as these can, they can just hit one little issue with another car and go flying into the stands. It can be dangerous, but Red Bull's nowhere to be seen, so we got a double DNF from Red Bull. Not a good day for Red Bull today.
I imagine Christian's going to pound some Red Bull vodkas in sorrow right now.
Well, it helps when you're married to a Spice Girl, I'll tell you that much.
Which of the Spice Girls is your favorite, Everett?
I'm a Posh Spice fan.
Okay.
Yep. That's the one that married the soccer player. Am I right?
Beckham?
Beckham.
think that is correct.
That's the one that tickles my fancy. What about you? You a sporty spice?
Ah,
She's a little too manly for my taste, but hey,
Monday
what
through
can you do?
Friday.
I'll tell you who the safety car helps out though. It's definitely Lingy and the soft tires. He's loving this. Looks like we're gonna go one more lap around.
You know, I hear Lance Stroll contracted to drive the safety car next year.
Well, if his father was smart, he would get somebody else in there. Just because he's your son doesn't mean he's good at driving a race car.
Lawrence should be finishing up the paperwork to adopt Fernando here by the end of the year, I think.
Trying to see if we can get either the Red Bulls or Drag King in our interview here. See if we can get any update from them. See what happened, but nothing on the chat. They may still be talking to their race directors, their team head of teams, figuring out what went wrong.
Possibly in the Trackside Medical Center.
Yep. Looks like we do have a
Long
safety car.
cleanup here.
Safety car is coming in this lap.
Good, they've got the blood cleaned up from the stands, it looks like. They're ready to go racing.
Rub some dirt on it, people. This is racing.
Pepto Bismol.
As we come to the restart. Langley going around the last corner. Let's see when he decides to take off.
Punching it as late as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't want to give anyone behind that drag.
And he's off.
That toe down to turn number 2.
Looks like Dorsey might be under some fire here. He's got Captain and Spasquash right behind him.
Making that Mercedes wide.
Yep. And keeps him behind him. Now let's see if he can catch up to Lingy. See if he still has some life left in them soft tires.
It's that sub for Lime stealing the last points paying spot from Young King.
They're all on the line right now. Everybody gonna get a nice toe down this front straight when they all come around. Brownino. Looks like Young King is dropping to some spots.
Wonder if that Aston Martin's having some issues.
Well, they started the year off super hot, and then they decided to, what seems like, swap cars with the McLarens. McLarens have jumped them. As we got Sub for Lime, J Supreme, and Squish all right there with one another.
That is a fast section to be that close together.
See if they can keep it clean here. Do have DRS enabled. As Supreme pulls out to the left of Squish with the toe. But Squish keeping him. Oh, Supreme has got him. Let's see what happens down here at turn 1.
This is the same kind of setup that George Russell and Bottas came together on at this corner years back.
Yeah, Russell being a little bitch. Blaming everything on Bottas.
Someone needs to lay hands on that guy's head.
We do have Dorsey within 4/10 of the leader. Looks like those softs may be falling off. Dorsey stays here, will get some DRS.
It's going to have 2 laps to make it happen.
Titanium with a 3-second time penalty. Somebody can't keep it on the track. Dorsey's wing comes open. Gaining, coming up to turn 1. Nope. Just a little bit too far back.
I think he's going to wait until the last lap to try to lead. It's a hard track that if you get around the guy ahead, you give him the advantage to come back to you the following lap. Let's see what he does this next time around. Little Milk making his way up. I think we just saw a pass on Little Mo. Who do you think is smaller, Nick or Mo?
I'm going to go with Lil Milk because his name is Lil, whereas Little Mo actually put Little. Anybody who does little instead of the actual word little is just a small person.
I completely agree with your logic.
Alright, we come around the penultimate, and then the final corner, Dorsey within 4/10. Coming down this front straight. Back wing goes open.
I think he's going to push it here, Everett.
Yep. As he goes to the outside, as Laney tries to defend. Dorsey.
Oh, into the grass.
Dorsey has taken the lead spot.
He makes it stick.
And there is a 3-second gap. Oh, as Sasquatch goes off the track.
Spanquanch?
Spanquanch. Captain gets ahead of him.
The Aston Martin Rally program, though, is off to a swimming start.
Yep.
I know who I'd pick for that driver. Spanquanch.
Final points position here is still pretty close. Let's see if anybody can make a try here around the final lap as Dorsey has pulled out 1.6 from Lingy. He's comfortably ahead. And then they got 3 seconds.
Are falling off.
Lingy goes off track a little bit.
Oh! Captain off the track as well. He needs to hold it together to his last sector of corners to keep that Spanquanch behind him.
Alright, as we come up to our final points. And we have Squish in 10th, Titanium 9th, Supreme, Sub for Lime, Little Mo, and Little Milk. Our winner today in the sprint race of 11 laps was Dorsey, making that move stick on the last lap. What do you think about that move?
You know, that's the way you want to see it won right there. He waited till the last lap and knew that he'd be able to keep everyone behind him after that. So that was smart play by Dave. And I have to imagine he's looking forward to that Jennifer Lopez kiss up there on the top step of the podium.
Kisses for my penny.
Taco, 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 burrito for my baby.
So we have Dorsey in first, Lingy in second, Captain third, Span Squanch fourth, Lil Milk fifth, Little Mo sixth, Sub for Lime seventh, J Supreme eighth. That is your points. We did have Titanium and Squish round out the top 10. Not a great day for the Red Bull as we had a double DNF from the Red Bull.
I have to imagine Christian's in the garage busting some chops right now. He needs his boys doing more than that.
Yeah, when you're in a car like the Red Bull, there's just no excuse. One mistake, sure, but to have a double DNF when you're in a car like that, that can so easily win you races. It's got to be disappointing. And now we have our break before the race.
You know, I'm looking forward to the concert after the race. Mouse Rat's playing.
I didn't realize that they were so big here in Italy.
Yeah, it's weird how that happens. They first toured here when they were known as Scarecrow Boat, and came back for subsequent tours as Malice in Chains, Punch Face Champion, and Death of a Scam Artist.
Yeah, they have definitely run through the names, but you'll always remember that lead singer.
Right. Andy, MF, and Dwyer. You know, I think my favorite name of theirs was Scrotation Marks.
Yeah, they were been through some very interesting names.
Three Skin, Five Skin, God Hates Figs. And now here is Mouse Rat. So remind me, Everett, do we invert the grids here?
No, I don't believe we do.
Oh, a special guest in the booth.
Yeah, we do have a special guest. His name is Jackson. Anybody, Jackson, you want to say hi to the people of Imola?
Hi.
What'd you think of that sprint race?
Nothing.
Nothing, yeah. Kind of disappointing seeing Uncle Dave win again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody likes him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn straight, kid. Shout out to our 4 viewers out there. Apple Lightning with the fire truck. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to drop in the chat where you're watching from, please. I'd love to know how far around the globe our stream has reached.
Alrighty. You know, putting the kid to bed. It's one of those little joys as a father.
Don't get many of those, do you?
Nope. This job has me flying around the world. Taking time away. As we set up the grid and we start our formation lap, Dorsey is starting on pole for winning the sprint earlier. We have 32 laps.
Triple the race distance. Looking forward to this. Tire life should be a lot less of a decider. Looks like everybody's starting from the front on the mediums. At least the
Not
front
quite.
row.
We got Dorsey on the mediums. We actually have the Ferrari on hards.
Oh.
Yep, and then the El Capitan in the Alpha is on softs.
Okay. A lot of different strategies there at the front. We have our possible race strategies shown on the board. Starting on the hard was not one of them, so we'll see what that Ferrari is thinking.
Well, it looks like most people are on the mediums. J Supreme in the Elither Alpha is on hards, and then the Young King of Aston is on hards with El Chris in the Red Bull starting on softs, but everybody else on mediums.
That's a lot of spots to make up in the back. I guess we'll see how those softs help him do that. Drag King. Disappointment to see him down there starting second to last after beginning the last race from the front row, right? Third place?
Started in second, ended third. He's got some places to make up, but the McLaren is a good race car, good on race pace. I expect him to make up some places. Might be a little tough being sandwiched in between the Red Bulls, but we'll see what happens for him.
You know, you love to see Drag King's teammate Squish starting there in 10th, on pace with everybody after his long break away from this sport.
Yeah, he's still getting his feet wet. I expect him to get better as the season goes along.
You know, he can't get much worse, so...
No, he really can't. He really can't. So we do have our first disqualification, which is Henny. Looks like he doesn't know how to do a formation lap.
So you cannot park there. Dave, you cannot park there.
Our race leader has now done a DQ. Rocketman has been DQ'd. Nobody knows how to park their race car.
Come on, guys. You do not pass go. You do not collect $200.
As we're 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are off. Dorsey a little squirrely out of the gate. He's down to third. Back up to second. Lingy's up in first. Too wide into the turn with him and captain. Looks like Dorsey's
already assuming the top spot again.
Dorsey's gonna stay there in second. Lingy, nope, that's captain. Spam Squanch.
Oh, the
Little Mo is
back
dropping.
at it again.
Little Mo is dropping.
A little bit of Mick Mo contact there.
Drag King down at the bottom.
Those guys trying to show each other who's littler. Looks like Milk came out on top. And Span Squanch in fourth.
Yeah, he got up a spot. Little Mick. Putting the Williams there in fifth. That's impressive. This captain is very close to Dorsey. No DRS within these first couple laps. Let's see if he can do something. He is on the softs while Dorsey is on the mediums.
He's got to capitalize on those tires now while he's got life in them.
Looks like he makes up that spot, gets ahead of Dorsey. Dorsey's going to stay close behind and wait for those tires to fall off a little bit and make that move again.
Ferrari's got great pace on the hards.
Yes, he does. He's already pulled out a second on Captain, but Captain is on those softs. Let's see if he can reel him in a little bit. Squish following closely behind Sub for Lime 2.
Up 2 spots.
Started 10th, up 2 spots.
Where do you go, Squishticles? Supreme's together in 10th and 11th, though. We'll see if there's fireworks there.
Looks like Little Mo's going to make a move on Squish. Yes, he does. Goes down the inside of that chicane.
Squish smart to not pick up any damage fighting at this point in the race.
Yeah, you're not going to win a race in lap 2. Keep your car clean, and then start making your moves later.
Yep, in the great words of Will Buxton, to finish the race, you first must finish. The Red Bull's making up some spots, trying to get some points this weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a good tongue lashing overnight.
Not the kind they wanted from Jerry.
Everybody's keeping it close.
We've already made it further than the last race as far as safety car events.
Yep. Like to see the racers keep it clean out there. Laney sure is pumping those
fastest
times.
lap.
Yeah, he's been pumping in those times on the hards. He really has been. Little Mo gets up ahead against Sub for Lime. Haas jumping a Ferrari. And then we have a McLaren.
I think Mo wants a little more action from Milk. He wants that spot back.
Drag King jumping up ahead against the Red Bull and the Henny B. See, they will have DRS down this straight. See if Dorsey can get past the Alfa Romeo of Captain.
He's trying to tuck into the toe. This will be the straighter way to do it on. Let's see what he does.
DRS comes open. Looks like he might be just a little bit too far back. Let's see. Yep, just gonna slot in behind.
That's what we saw last race. Probably waiting for those soft tires to go off. He'll make use of his longer lasting mediums later in the stint.
Yeah, it's only lap 5. I don't suspect the softs have gone off too much, but at the same time, you want to make that move so you don't let Lingy get too far ahead of you on those hard tires with the times he's putting in.
Yeah, the only thing going to help out later on if he keeps being given the chance to run away is a safety car intervention.
We got Drag King down here. He's really fighting to make up ground. Right on the back of Brownito Supreme. He's probably going to wait for the DRS train here. Or for the DRS down the front straight. We'll get back with Dave, see if he can pull it off this time around. He's a little bit closer, it seems.
Rear wheel's opened. See what he's got this time around.
And he is ahead.
Pulls off the pass.
Well, he's got 2 seconds to get up there with Lingy. I'm sure he can do it. But he is on mediums as Lingy is on the hards.
We'll have to watch that gap over the next couple of laps.
As we do have a caution. Looks like a Red Bull is down. Henny B.
Parked up, not moving.
Well, he's moving now. Looks like he might have gotten a little squirrely there out of the chicane from turn 1, 2. He's back out there.
Does not appear to have any terminal damage.
Well, it's just not looking to be a great weekend for the Red Bulls. El Chris has gotten up to 11th, but let's see if he can get in the points.
He's Red Bull's last hope at this point.
We got Sub for Lime 2, right on the heels of our favorite race car driver, Squish, in the McLaren.
Alex Squishtickle is definitely a fan favorite here in the booth.
Yeah, definitely not for his racing craft, though.
He is a dirty girl.
Sub for Lime is going to just keep it behind him for now. Looks like Drag King does make a move on the Red Bull of El Chris. Looks like he's going to follow up, stay behind Supreme in the Alpha pretty close. See if he can make up another spot.
And Drag King wanting to exert his dominance as the top McLaren driver. Doesn't want to see the retired driver come in there and unseat him from his throne. He is the Drag King after all.
The Drag King. Yep, that's the
Power
nickname.
top.
Nickname he got famous for his drag queen performances in New York and Miami. One of the more famous drag queens in the United States.
Yep, all up and down the East Coast.
Usually they don't take too kindly to drag queens out in the Carolinas or Georgias in the South, but Miami, Florida, they love them.
You know, he was Mr. Alabama, surprisingly.
Let's see if he can make a move here. Yes, he does. Bumps it up into 10th. He is in the points positions. He is moving up nicely, making some clean passes. Does have 3 seconds to make up for on the Ferrari, and then his teammate Squish. See if he can pull into that pack as they battle it out.
Looking to the front, the interval from Lingy back to Dave has grown to 2.9 seconds. Lingy still pumping in those lap times, but gets a 3-second time penalty.
Yep, might be why he was pumping in those lap times.
You know, the stewards are going to be watching him closer now. Every time he steps over the track, he's going to pick up an additional penalty. If Dave can keep it clean, that's going to help him be able to close that gap over time, I think.
Yep, he's gotten it down to 2.7. If he can just keep it within those 3 seconds, he'll be good, but the pit stops will be interesting. The interesting also thing about this league is you actually get an extra point for no penalties, so Lingy's extra point for no penalties is gone. But everybody else does not have penalties, as Basquash makes the move on Captain, gets it done. And then we have El Chris and the Red Bull getting a 5-second penalty going into the pits.
Wow.
So Red Bull, again. Just disappointment after disappointment.
Yeah, they're going to be ready for this weekend to be over as quick as possible.
Squish is just holding off the Haas right now of Little Mo. Just riding his rear all the way down. He's got a nice rear, I'll say that. Squish does have a nice rear. Famous for it.
They don't call him the caboose for nothing.
He was famous for it in the East German bathhouses, apparently.
And in his hometown of Aspen,
Yep.
where the beer flows like wine. A little place called Aspen.
As we go down the front straight here, we'll see if Lil Mo can get ahead of Squish now.
You know, I have to think the Switch is going to make that caboose as wide as possible down here into turn 1.
Well, he's doing good so far. He might be using up his ERS most of the time down that front straight, because the rest of the time Little Mo is right on his tail for the rest of the lap. So he might be saving it for that front straight. As Lil Mick picks up a 3-second time penalty. It's just free points you guys are given. Keep it on the track, you dum-dums. Keep it on the track.
That's some spoiled milk right there.
He does have Captain 3/10 behind him, might be pushing him, and he is in a Williams, which is hard to keep in a straight line. As he overshoots it,
Ooh,
gives the
wiggle.
opening to Captain.
Where
Squish
energy
picking
is
up a 3
opportunity turn.
But that Williams in a straight line is impressive. As Squish picks up a 3-second penalty, and now Drag King picks up a 3-second penalty.
Wow. We got some dirty girls here tonight.
Yep, apparently nobody likes to race on track. Dorsey's falling back a little bit, 3.5 off the leader. Rocket Man with a 3-second time penalty now.
Seeing everyone on the softs coming in for pit stops, I have to assume the mediums are not too far behind.
Yep.
Dave's tires probably falling off a little bit.
Supreme making a move. We're getting passed by Drag King, it looks like. Nope. Drag
Getting
King.
bullied by that Drag King.
Yep, Drag King is on the hards. So I think you're right. Those mediums may be falling off. But he keeps it in front for now.
And a Red Bull setting the fastest lap of the race.
It's the little victories, apparently.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
This is our closest battle on track currently, with Drag King and Supreme. Drag King with a 3-second penalty, and on medium tires that may be falling off a little bit compared to Supreme's hards.
Supreme keeping right there, tucked up under his rear wing. Have to imagine down the start-finish straight, he's going to be able to make the move happen.
Well, when you got DRS, it's just the logical place to do it. As we get the other Red Bull with a 3-second time penalty now. And here comes Drag King, and Supreme looks like Supreme has overtaken him now.
Like stealing candy from a Drag King.
I don't know if you want to do that. Who
Hey, if
knows
the
what's in
candy's
that-
free and the van door's open.
Yeah. I've taken candy from worse. See how Squish is doing. He's within a second of the car ahead of him. The Haas, Little Mo. See if he can stick to him. Drag King is sticking to Supreme. So he might be looking to make a move and take that place back. Ooh, Squish overshoots that a little bit. Gets him without a second. Gets him out of the DRS. Little Mo, unfortunately. Not too many battles going on. We do have sub for Lime after Squish makes that mistake. He's within DRS. See if he can reel him in a little bit. Or he's not.
Looks like he just slipped out before the detection zone.
We do have one of our first medium runners coming into the pits, Drag King. Caution Sector 3.
Ready for some new boots or heels on that car.
As we had the Haas of Rocket Man take a little bit of a spin there. He's not having a good day, Rocket Man. Let's check in on our leader, Lingy. He seems to be running a smooth race other than that time penalty, but he's gotten it up to just about 4 seconds between him and the Dorsey in second place, so...
The gap has grown to 4 seconds. Dave needing a safety car to help him get back into contention for the lead.
Yep. Looks like we have the
sub for Lime closing up on Squish. And Little Mo with a short gap to Titanium.
We have another caution, sector 3. Looks like everybody's moving. Alright, let's see if Subfriendly May can make a move here. Looks like he might be just too far back. I think what Squish is doing is he's saving his ERS for that long straight.
He is a big brain racer.
Yeah. When he's not peeing on kids in elementary and smoking weed and doing those sorts of things, he actually can be a solid enough racer.
Right.
We have some more people coming into the pits. As Henny and Young King go into it, Henny comes out on top.
The first turn. The Red Bulls starting to sneak back into some of the last points paying positions.
Yep. Unfortunately, they do have penalties, so we'll see what happens.
Yep, still half a race ahead of us. Nearing the halfway mark now.
The closest battle right now is between Sub for Lime and Squish. Although I could see one of them be coming into the pits here. They're both on mediums. Lil Mick with a 5-second time penalty speeding into the pit lane. And Sub for Lime comes into the pits. It looks like we're going to have quite a few of our
on track happening at the end of Sector 2. Trying to tell who that is racing close there. Going into Sector 3, we got 3 cars together there. A little bit of action.
Looks like Drag King has gotten in front of Henny.
I have to imagine maybe that's cars that have pit racing through cars that have not yet.
Well, Henny has, and the other ones, Young King, I believe, has, and the Red Bulls definitely have. They're all on very different strategies. Check back in here with our leaders. Our third place, Sam Squanch, 4 seconds off Dorsey. 5-second gap between him and the gentleman behind him in Tit. Seems to be just running a smooth race. He is yet to pit. We'll see if he comes in. He does not. Dorsey, he's running a smooth race there in second. And we got Lingy, who's on hard. So Squish with a 5-second time penalty going into the pits. So that is 8 seconds total. Looks like he's putting on the hards.
Love that view. Gonna have quite a gaggle of cars here down the front straight. Got about 6 cars running together and Squish about to exit the pit into them.
Henny with a 5.
Yep.
Everybody's picking up some 5-second time penalties.
Gotta
it's not that
use
hard.
That brake.
It's not that hard to go the speed limit and stay on track, people.
Come on, slow it down, guys. This is a school zone.
Well, we got the 2 McLarens running 11th and 12th. The Ferrari of Sub for Lime in the final points position.
Gotta practice those pit entries, guys. You can blow a great race with a 5-second penalty.
Yep, very, very quickly. So we got one of our pole position players coming into the pits. Sam Squanch. Titanium will overtake him.
Which tires we going to on that car?
We're going to the hards.
To finish it out.
Supreme will get ahead of him. Looks like Captain will get ahead of him. Looks like he may be good. Next person is in the Williams. Little Mick, here he comes.
Little Nicholas.
Yep.
Charging down the back straight. Here we go.
And a successful pit stop for Sam Squanch. No speeding into the pit lane. No penalties so far today. So a solid, clean race for him. And Lingy has poured out 6.4 seconds on Dorsey. We'll see if Dorsey can do anything. We had some team orders earlier. McLaren telling Squish to pull over and let Drag King aside.
Squish is always a good team player.
A good team player, but Drag King did seem to be going a little bit faster today. But he was starting in the back, so we'll see if this makes a difference, if he can pull out some time. He does have Sub-Friendly May ahead of him. And he's about 1.4 seconds off. We have Supreme. So this is a hard tire coming into pit.
I have to assume he's going to the mediums to run it to the end.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
A little bit of contact in sector 2. Who knows, Williams in a Haas maybe?
We do have Sam Squanch and Little Mick pretty close together.
El Chris up to 8 in the Red Bull.
They do have that time penalty. His teammate's still down in 15th, but with other time penalties, hopefully he can keep it in the points.
El Chris may be able to keep his job next season.
We got Lingy coming into the pits, going to the mediums. And Dorsey has come in. So Dorsey making those mediums last as long as his... Oh, Dorsey going to softs.
Interesting.
Dorsey doing a medium soft play. That might pull him back within Lingy, as Lingy does hards to mediums. Dorsey, nice job making those hards last. As long as the Ferrari of Lingy can make the hards. So.
I've always heard Dave referred to as the careless tire whisperer.
Yeah, there's something about him. He can make those tires on the Mercedes last a little longer. As our new race leader, Tit, he is yet to pit, though, so... And he's in an Alpine. No French car will ever win a race, as far as I'm concerned. Fuck him.
Bonjour.
See, everybody is kind of playing it safe. Nobody's really close within other than Squish to his teammate, so I don't think they're going to be pushing him to pass his teammate. But his teammate's not really gaining that much time on sub for Lime. We got Brownito, Supreme in the Alpha Tauri just cruising along. As we do have a final pit from our leader, Titanium. He has come in. He was on the mediums. Let's see if he did the Dorsey strat and went to softs. Looks like he did. Yes, he did, as he's getting past. He does drop all the way down to the 11th.
I have to say I'm amazed to see all the cars still running.
Yeah, I mean, as we had 3 people not finish the sprint race, we got all of them so far still in the race. Titanium on the softs is going to be making up some ground. No penalty. He's got the 2 McLarens ahead of him, as we have a yellow sector 2. Looks like it might have been the Haas. Brownito picking up a 3-second time penalty. Not that it matters when you're in 13th, but definitely could have used that point for keeping it clean, bud.
Yep. Keep your head down. Catch the J Supreme.
Lingy on the mediums putting in the fastest lap.
He has to slow that man down.
And then Dorsey beats him while he's on softs. Kind of expected that. We'll see what happens with Titanium. He is the closest runner here. Right on Squish's gearbox. Does he go down the inside? He does. And he gets ahead of, splits the McLarens.
What would you do if you were in a Squish Drag King sandwich?
Well, Squish picks up another 3-second time penalty, but if it was me, if it was possible, I would drive really fast and run into the back of Drag King and then slam the brakes and let Squish hit me in the back, you know, get that real sandwich going.
That's an effective strategy. Ruin 3 races at once.
Kind of like the human centipede, but with race cars. This Titanium is now 5/10 behind the other McLaren. Lingy putting in a 1:16.6. That was quick. Dorsey goes up to second. Young King Fidici, 3-second time penalty. Again,
multiple warnings. Come on.
Yeah. And there's Titanium in the softs getting past Drag King. Yep, those softs, he's going to be dangerous these last 11 laps or so.
At this point, 9 of the 16 drivers with penalties. Where did you find such dirty racers?
I didn't find them. I just have to commentate about their shitty driving, unfortunately. So we got Sam Squanch, who's pretty close between Lil Mick. Lil Mick does have a time penalty. And then Dorsey in second. He's 8.8 off of our leader, Lingy, who has a 3-second time penalty. But Dorsey is on the softs. We'll see if he can reel him in. Nice to see a Williams and an Aston up here in the top 5 battling it out. That's what you like seeing.
Yeah, no constructor exerting any dominance out here. Everybody fighting up and down the rankings. I'd like to see that. Pretty even parity between all cars.
Does look like the Aston of Sam Squanch might have a DRS problem, as it was not open down that straight, and he did have DRS. That might hurt him a little bit, but he's staying close with Lil Mick.
I have to imagine with the reliability of that Aston Martin, that problem may lie in the loose nut behind the wheel. That driver forgetting to press the DRS button.
As Drag King does jump ahead of Subfrelime. Trying to follow along on the soft tires of Titanium. Trying to see if he can help him drag him along.
That Span Squanch staying right there with Mick.
We'll see if he remembers to open up that DRS this time.
It's the button on the left, buddy.
There it is. But that Williams in a straight line is impressive. He parks it right in the middle. Parks it right in the middle. Subfrelime is trying to get back at Drag King. Doesn't make it work. When you were racing, Bob, who was your favorite team when you were racing for? Was it McLaren or Ferrari?
It was always McLaren.
Always McLaren. Did they give you the most money?
Damn straight.
Yeah. That's who my favorite would have been. Whoever's giving me the most money. That's my favorite. This is our closest battle currently with Sub for Lime and Drag King. Sam Squanch is still behind Lil Mick. And it does look like Dorsey is falling back more of Lingy. Lingy is just on a different world today in that Ferrari.
That thing is a rocket ship. I have to imagine Sub for Lima is eager to get around Drag King so that they can hold on to the titanium. And the Rocket Man is retired.
Yeah, Rocket Man has retired in the Haas. Yep, pulled into the pits. Looks like he was having an issue all day. Just could not get that car to go where and how he wanted.
He's probably off to hit the pizza parlor.
Checking our leader here, Lingy. Just cruising along, even with the 3-second penalty. He has nearly an 11-second gap on Dorsey. As long as he doesn't fuck this up, Lingy, he'll be alright. Dorsey's there in second. Looks like he might be coming up on some lap traffic. And you got Captain in third. Lil Mick, and there's Sam Squanch, still trying to reel in that Williams. Does not get it
Getting
done.
closer, down to a quarter second.
Sub for Lime does get ahead of Drag King.
We'll watch that gap ahead to titanium, currently at 3 seconds.
Lingy picks up another 3 seconds. Not going to make a huge difference. He's got an 11-second gap on Dorsey, so...
You gotta watch, though.
Yeah.
He'll start slipping over track limits every time he does now. It's going to result in a penalty, so... If he starts getting sloppy, it'll all fall apart.
Lil Mick with another 3-second time penalty. He is, again, followed close by Sam Squanch. You wonder if he just gives up this battle with Sam Squanch so he can try and build up a time between him and Little Mo and stop the battling.
I hear Little Mick has picked up a new sponsor.
Oh, yeah? Who was that?
Manwich.
Manwich. It's not a
sandwich. They make
sandwich.
his sandwiches extra sloppy.
Sam Squanch just pulled to the inside and does get ahead of the Williams and Little Mick. Manwich. It's not a sandwich. It's a manwich.
Nothing pairs with a nice tall glass of milk like a nice hot manwich.
The two McLarens are now falling closely behind Sub for Lime, but they both have penalties.
Tell me about this place that Dave Dorsey's sponsored by, Scalini's?
Scalini's?
Yeah, maker of the famous cheese coney.
Oh, Scalini's, man. Well, from what we heard, it's a family-owned and run establishment out in the Cincinnati area. As Supreme picks up a 3-second time penalty. That has built just a new wave of way to eat glizzies, where you actually put the Cincinnati-style chili on it with some cheese. And I don't know about you, but are you a fan of glizzies?
Oh, buddy.
I love glizzies, and we'll have to have Dorsey have the Scalini endorsement bring us some so we can try this chili and cheese.
I've heard their $5 footlongs are amazing.
As we have people just picking up penalties left and right. We do have Titanium with 5 tenths. 5 tenths behind Little Mo right now, down to 4.
You know, Dave really makes me think of Skyline all the time. You know, both of them, they make a great three-way.
Oh, name a more iconic three-way than Dave, you, and me.
I can't think of one.
You can't. You can't. It's legend. Wait for it. Dairy.
I tell you, the only thing that the French got right is the Eiffel Tower, and I'm not talking about the
Not talking about
the landmark.
Not talking about the landmark. I agree with you. We'll see if Titanium can get up a spot on the Haas.
You know, the
Little
French got
Mo.
something right in that Alpine, though, it looks like.
So far, not looking too bad. Actually, one of the few people that do not have a penalties, him and Little Mo.
6 drivers left with no penalty. And Rocket Man was doing okay. He kept it in the track.
Yeah. Titanium does get ahead of Little Mo as Drag King at the same time gets ahead of Sub Frelime again. Not that it might matter. He does have a 3-second time penalty, so he's got to get 3 seconds on Sub Frelime if he wants to make that position stick.
Have you had any of Skyline's Cholitos Unwrap Happiness? Cholitos. Little chili burritos?
I have not had the chili burritos. They sound interesting, but you know, when Dorsey was telling us about that sponsorship, and he said that a glizzy comes with chili and cheese, I have to try the glizzy first. Ooh, as Sub Frelime takes a bad route and now gets passed by Squish, and Little Mo with the 3-second time penalty, that gives Drag King that 3-second time on Sub Frelime. Now Squish, let's see if he can build it.
That midfield battle opening up.
Yeah, it is. Little Mo with the time penalty.
You know, Lingy looks like he's going to be the one taking home the taco flavored kisses.
Yep, he's got a 14-second gap on our second place racer right now, Dorsey. Does have 6 seconds worth of penalties, but we think he's going to be bringing this one home.
I tell you, this race has flown by. Only 2.5 laps left.
2.5 laps left. We don't have anybody in the DRS of anybody else. Everybody's keeping a gap. Everybody but about 5 racers have time penalties. We'll see how that plays out for the end. Langley starting his penultimate lap. He's going to come up on a little bit of lap traffic here. Not much he has to worry about.
Yeah, let's flip to Span Squanch. He's getting within DRS zone of Captain.
2 drivers. It looks like he may have forgotten to open up the DRS again. Fucking idiot.
Well, make sure to send him a manual for that car.
Yep.
Do some studying for the next week. And Squish with another 3-second penalty.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they put a button that says DRS on it? It's not that hard to miss.
You know, maybe he's dyslexic.
I mean, RSD, I would assume that's DRS. So we do have Sub
Starts
Frelime.
with, sounds like.
Be interesting here what Sub Frelime does, being so close behind Squish, but he's got 3 people ahead of him with 3-second penalties. He might want to get ahead of Squish so he can just get a little bit of time on Drag King. The Squish is 3 seconds off of Drag King.
See if he gets by.
As Lingy starts his final lap.
Span Squanch within a half second of Captain.
As we come down the front straight, this might be his last chance to take over for the podium position.
Gotta lick that stamp and send it, buddy.
Yeah, I have a feeling Captain's going to be emptying that ERS. As he jumps down the inside, late break, Goes
Got the
down
wing
the
open
inside.
and it goes for it.
Oh, but he picks up a 3-second time penalty while doing it. Learn how to fucking race, Sam Squanch.
You gotta roll the dice when you're there.
Yeah, it's not that hard to keep it on the track, but he makes the move, picks up a time penalty, and he's going to go back down to 4th, unfortunately.
When you're in the casino, you gotta roll the dice.
As we got Lingy coming around here, coming to the penultimate corner. He's going to wrap this baby up.
Masterclass.
Just a hell of a race.
Put on a clinic. Like a driving instructor out there. Look at that, just swerving like a beast.
And Lingy 12,
doing a
our
burnout.
race winner. Henny picking up a 5-second unserved penalty. Good job, Henny.
Wait for Dave to come across the line.
And there he is.
P2. Silver medal.
Sam Squanch crosses the line 3rd, but with his time penalty, will move down to 4th as captain.
Oh, captain, a little drinking and driving. It's finally kicked in.
We'll see how these time penalties work out so far, but we got a lot of movement going on.
That's a lot of math going on. So I have to take off my shoes to count these penalties.
Brownito Supreme, 10-second time penalty exceeded track limits. Okay.
You can't do that at the end, buddy.
Not that it matters. So we have Lingy, our race winner. Dorsey, our 2nd place. Captain, 3rd. Sam Squanch, 4th. Titanium, 5th. Drag King, 6th. So he made up some good positions starting there in the back in 15th. He might be our driver of the day. And then we have Little Mo, 7th. Sub for Lime, 8th. Lil Mick, 9th. And our last points position, Supreme in the Alfa Romeo. So double points for the Alfa Romeos.
Love to see that. Home race for them as well this week.
Yep, home race for the Alfa Romeos, the Ferraris, and did you know the Alfa Tauris? Alfa Tauris are an Italian team.
Buongiorno.
Yep, there is Drag King, our driver of the day, as I suspected. He started in 14th, made his way up to 5th. That was a hell of a race. We'll see if we can get our podium finishers in an interview coming up. Unfortunately, Lingy, the Ferrari driver, does have a British flag. Loser.
Trying to figure out where Jennifer Lopez is.
Yeah, Jennifer Lopez may be in the back getting ready for the boys. I heard there was a train scheduled for after the race for the 3 podium finishers. We'll see if that train comes to fruition.
Love to hear it.
So again, we have Lingy 1st, Dorsey 2nd, Captain 3rd. We'll see if we can get our 3 podium finishers in an interview. Sam Squanch 4th, Titanium 5th, Little Mo 6th, Drag King 7th, Lil Mick 8th, Sub for Lime 9th, J Supreme 10th, Squish 11th, El Chris 12th, Brownito 13th, Henny 14th, Young King 15th, and then Rocket Man, who did not finish, our only non-finisher today, finishes 16th. All right, let's see if we can get them in here.
Let's hear from those nerds. You got 5 viewers out there on Twitch. Let us know where you're watching from, guys.
Dorsey has joined the party.
So Dave, now that I've got you alone here with Everett, can I interest you in a 3-way? From our sponsor, Skyline Chili.
Yes. That is a great way to celebrate. I am in.
You know, every podium I've ever scored, I always celebrated with a 3-way, whether I was in Cincinnati or in Italy.
That makes sense. I have no idea what you said, to be honest.
Tell
So
us, what was the
Dorsey,
secret to your podium, Dave?
Accidentally leaving your brake bias on 70% for the entire race and overheating your tires.
ooh, Urgh.
I realized on
you're
lap 27, and that's why I had no pace against Lingy in this, but beat him in the sprint.
Hmm.
yeah. We were kind of curious because you went for the medium to soft strat, and you made those mediums last until Lingy, who started on the hards, he pitted same lap as you. You went to the softs, and we're like, 3 second time penalty for Lingy. Dorsey on the softs, he might be able to reel him in here, and it just did not come to fruition.
Yeah, it was. I was wondering the entire race, like where my pace had gone. And then I realized on lap 27 when I was flipping through my MFD, like looking at fuel and looking at tires, that I had left my brake bias on 70 from the formation lap.
A real racing
And
driver would have
it
noticed
was
that from
rough.
the beginning, but that's unfortunate. But still, you finished second. Hell of a race from you. Are we going to get any of the other podium finishers in here?
I think they're all PC or PlayStation guys, so I don't know how to invite them.
Fuck them.
What a bunch of nerds.
Bunch of fucking losers. We did have Lingy in the 12. One thing I have to ask you was his qualifying time. His qualifying time was nearly. It ended up being 6/10 from your fastest, but there was a time where he was nearly a full second faster than the grid.
Yeah, he's quick and in a quick car. Um, yeah. Also in qualifying, I had 7 laps of fuel in my car for both laps, which was good.
God, you're a fucking idiot. Oh well.
Yeah.
So how about that three-way?
Talk
Gotta
to me,
be
Daddy.
honest. The race this week, there was a lot less action than last week. A lot more penalties from everybody. And like the gaps were starting to widen. There's a couple times where there was nobody within DRS, and we were following along. It seemed like a very different race from last week. Is that mainly because of the track?
Yeah. I think Imola is just a follow the leader track unless you have a major tire advantage, honestly.
Speaking of, where are we off to next week, Dave?
The home of Max Verstappen's douchebag self.
What a
Ah,
fucking
the douche
loser.
Grand Prix.
Douche Grand Prix. Thank God we don't have a douche like that in our league.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that was a hell of a race,
Close
guys.
this out, boys.
Yep. Thank you for joining us in this
Yep.
Imola race. Again, we had Dorsey as second, who could not figure out his brake bias or putting too much fuel in the car. If, he figured that out, he might have won, but I don't know. He's not that good. But you guys have a good night, and we will see you next week.
Yep, we'll see you next week at the Summer's Eve Douche Grand Prix.